Hello, beautiful people, and thanks so much for watching us here on Great Day, Louisiana. I'm Malik Mingo, as always. I hope you're doing well today. Look, as always, we have a great show for you all today. We are starting our acknowledgement of the 20th anniversary of Hurricane Katrina here on our show. All week long, we're going to be having some great conversations on what needs to be done, what has been done, and where we still need to go. It's all leading up to a special 1-hour episode this Friday, August 29th at 9 a.m., so please do not miss it. But first, we're starting here in our LCMC Health Wellness Lounge because did you all just see those photos, those videos that we just showed you all? It may be triggering for some people who may not know how to cope with an anniversary like this. So we wanted to have a conversation on how to cope and what to do if you are in need of some help. Joining now for a conversation is Dr. Erica Rajo. She's a trauma psychologist at University Medical Center. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so
Good
much
to
for
see
having
you
me.
as
Good
well.
to see you.
And I'm so glad we are starting off our entire week of coverage with a conversation like this because I'll be honest with you all, we're going to be showing you videos, we're going to be having conversations that may bring up a little bit of trauma for people who maybe lived through Hurricane Katrina. I'm so curious first, Dr. Rajo, like what's going on in the brain? Because I feel like a lot of us understand, yes, people do have this, we acknowledge it, but we don't understand why for some reason at this point during the year when we see these visuals, it opens up something in us.
Yeah, it's a good question. So basically, the way trauma memories are stored is to protect you from future threats. So when you see reminders of the event or of Hurricane Katrina, your brain is trying to remind you, oh, do we need to be on alert? Do we need to protect ourselves from another threat? And so you might experience some of the things, some of the thoughts, feelings, even body sensations that you had at the time.
And it's unfortunate, and we don't want anybody to deal with that. But if you do deal with that, what are some of those feelings they should be aware of to say, oh my goodness, it's starting to happen to me?
Well, one thing to note is that sometimes it'll sneak up on you. And even though you know the anniversary of Katrina is coming up, you might be more irritable than usual, and maybe you don't put two and two together. So feelings of grief or sadness, anger, even things like fatigue or pain can come up. And it's just definitely good to be mindful, take care of yourself. We have some tips for how to do that, and we'll get into that. But yeah, just really being mindful of this anniversary coming up, but not in a way that's like if you are worried about it, you can make a plan for it, but just know that it's normal to have a reaction to an anniversary of a trauma.
Absolutely. It is so true. And what's also important, you just alluded to it, that you have a plan. Look, this can be something that every single individual person may have to deal with differently, but there are some really great ways to get you started. What are some of those tips on coping with this?
Yeah, so one thing, I mean, there's so many events going on right now. I know you've seen it, I see it all over social media.
Oh, yes.
There's so many commemorative events for Katrina 20, and so that might look like going to volunteer somewhere, going to one of these summits or panels where they're talking about people's experiences with Katrina and how far we've come since Katrina. Maybe it's just getting a group of friends or loved ones together and having quality time. You might also not want to be out and about during this time, and so taking care of yourself in other ways like deep breathing, meditation, gardening, things that really like relax your mind and
bring you
calm
joy.
your body and bring you joy. Exactly.
Turn that negative into positive. I think that's so important to note. But earlier we showed a visual on talking about PTSD, right? When does it become, because I don't want to scare anybody, when does it become this is just anxiety, this is just a trauma response, and then this is full-blown PTSD?
Yeah, so PTSD is a specific set of symptoms. There's things like reliving the event through like intrusive thoughts or dreams, flashbacks, and then avoidance, like really avoiding any reminders of the event. Like you can't leave your home because you do not, or you can't turn on the TV because you're afraid something about Katrina is going to come up. There's also like hypervigilance, feeling on guard and like really nervous that something like Katrina is about to happen again. Those are some of the common symptoms. But what I would say is, if it's getting in the way of you doing the things you typically do, or it's causing you significant distress, then you might want to reach out and get some help from a professional.
Absolutely. And I got to be honest with you, Dr. Erica, I have not watched the documentaries unless it was for work, of course. You know, I don't choose to watch them because I feel, to me, it's going to bring up feelings that I just don't want to experience. But is that an option as well? Because again, you have to deal with this your own way. Should I go ahead and watch them to maybe figure out these are my triggers, and then maybe I'm just thinking, oh, it's not as bad as I think it is. I'm just assuming because I haven't watched it yet?
Yeah, I think it really depends, like you said, on the person. And so and it's not all or nothing, right? If you decide to watch a documentary on Katrina, and then it becomes so distressing and overwhelming, you can always stop.
That is true. Press pause.
And take care of yourself, and you don't have to resume. But if, you know, for some people, anniversaries are an opportunity to see, like, to think about how far we've come. And so it may be that it allows you to reflect on and process things that are unprocessed and have an opportunity for more growth or healing there, you know, so it's not all bad. I did watch some myself, and it brought up feelings, but you know what? Feelings are okay.
Feelings are okay, and I love how you said that. At the end of the day, it's an opportunity for me to finally process maybe an emotion I have not processed yet. And we also want to let people know, don't deal with any, of course, unwell, different coping mechanisms.
Yes.
Don't go to the bottle, don't do all that.
Yes.
But one thing I love that we're about to talk about right now, for people who maybe did not experience Hurricane Katrina, who do not live here, they need to be hyper aware of that, right? When talking to somebody who maybe did go through that.
Yeah, just being sensitive to, you know, this time in New Orleans for a lot of people, for most people. I mean, it's unavoidable, especially with the 20th anniversary, to be thinking about it. And so just being mindful of your loved ones that are in New Orleans, and you don't necessarily have to call and ask, how are you doing with the memory of Hurricane Katrina? But you can call and just check in, and they'll know that you're thinking about them. And this is also a time of grief for a lot of people. And so, you know, maybe you connect with your friends or loved ones and you plan some way to honor a loss that they experience.
I absolutely love that. You're giving such great tips, and at the end of the day, we want to keep you well, and you are helping keep us well today. Thank you so much, Dr. Erica.
You.
So good to see you.
You
A great
too.
conversation. And look, everybody, if you need more advice, if you have any more questions, lcmchealth.org for more information on how the healthcare system can help you out. Now, look, coming up next, everybody, there's a lot going on in honor of the Katrina 20 anniversary. We're going to talk to the City of New Orleans and United Way about their Katrina 20 Summit coming up after the break. But first, everybody, yes, it is an anniversary, but it's also Labor Day weekend, and we have a reminder for you all. Take a look at your screens right there. Remember, please call someone. Do not drive drunk. Drive sober and get a ride. You may need to make the right call before you even start your car. Buzz driving is drunk driving, so if you've had a drink, call a friend, get a ride, and stay alive. For more information about safe driving, you can log on to nhsta.gov. All right, stick with us, everybody. We'll be right back.